Good.
Mhm.
In that case, I'm going to tell that nice officer, thank you very much, sir, but I think I'll try to fix this
Mhm.
myself before
Okay.
using more of your friendliness.
Mhm. So your failure in etiquette only meant that you broke the heel and drew attention to yourself. But since it was not a catastrophic or a feeble failure, it was just a poor. It just meant it's inconvenience for you. He is not suspicious. You didn't do anything weird. You didn't do the right thing, but you didn't do anything weird. So he's just helping. Right.
Mhm.
Says, well, that's okay. And he says, I have to go and supervise the announcement now. So, you know, if you're not in a hurry. And he points to a big sign that's on the side of a building, like a big advertising sign. He says, if you're not in a hurry, keep an eye out. And goes to take a position in an intersection where he starts to stop the cars, and he's also gesturing to the people who are walking on sidewalks. Everybody is apparently supposed to stop and pay attention. So that is happening.
Great. I hope that my little crickets understand that I would like to fix that shoe and may help me in that endeavor.
Sure.
Because I personally have the feeling that that shoe should have at least one nail in its heel
Right.
that right now is sticking out of it.
Right. So what would you like to do?
I'd like to repair it provisionally because I happen to know that that works quite nicely if you can get the heel back on the nail.
Okay.
If the nail isn't too.
In that case, I believe we are talking about a mechanical roll.
Yes.
And I am looking at the various things inside mechanical, and it says repair.
Yes.
Yes.
So, is anybody going to help her repair?
Yeah, I can help, but I don't have that skill. So,
Well, you will have
Neither
a crappy
have I.
die, but maybe who knows what you will get, correct?
yes,
I mean,
of
the
course.
worst thing is we can't get it fixed.
Right.
Yeah,
We're
of course.
sitting on a park bench. It's fine.
So,
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. All you need is passable. It's a very basic task, and there is no kind of. I wouldn't even have you roll, except that this is not something Claire has ever really had to do. But it's a straightforward task. So let's see if we can do this.
Is there any risk in helping at all?
No.
If I roll,
you cannot make it worse.
All right.
That I know of, anyway. I can look it up and see, but right now I will say no.
My help is considered pathetic.
Okay.
Maybe you should just
Nathan, are you going to help?
Yes. I got an inferior.
Oh, really? Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, no.
To fix this shoe.
We're really working as a team now.
Well, we are trying.
Because my own roll wasn't better than pathetic.
Do I really want to try with 3 dice?
Okay,
so we break off the nail.
Well,
that's not so bad. Then at least it doesn't stick into my foot.
Right. Did you roll, Helma?
Yes.
Okay.
I rolled a pathetic. Okay. So.
Okay. So yes, you have definitely get absolutely nowhere with this shoe. In fact, with a pathetic result, I think that the person who really fixes shoes is now going to be upset at you. So
yes. Oh yes.
Yes. So so there you are. I mean, it's not a complete disaster, but you may have to kind of walk along carefully when you start to walk. But right now, not walking would make you conspicuous, I think. People
maybe
who are
breaking
listening,
off both.
yeah. People who are listening, now is a great time for all this data to come in, because people are speculating about the announcement. And one group of people is talking about they heard it must be Timmy. I heard they caught Timmy. And another says that that maybe that they heard or they are afraid that there is going to be another. She calls it a drive to for more girls, and the person says, no, it has only been a year since last time. There won't be another drive, and don't worry, they said. Like a drive is something that you should be worried about. So, so those are two pieces of information. The first thing they do is to repeat. What the policeman does is, once he has everyone's attention and puts his hands next to his eyes, and says, "All right, everybody, it's starting." And then he says, in very strong words, he says, "We say the law." And the crowd, shouts, not really all in one voice, but kind of all together, "The law." And he gives a short statement about the wisdom of Isabella Bain, that Isabella, has given us the law, and the law makes us strong. And they finish by all shouting, "Progress." That's the closing word of this short introduction. They all shout, "Progress." And so then you can see that everybody is activating devices that they have in their heads. And you have one. You can activate it by thinking about it. So Helma, you would be the person who could actually activate this device. And by using the device, that's when you can see that the sign now is more like a screen. It is just a sign, but the psychotronic device picks up impulses from it like it's actually a transmission device. So the sign will make its announcement. And so I guess the question is, what are you going to do, if anything?
As long as this, I'm going to try to do everything everybody else does, but
Right.
probably being kind of slow.
That's probably okay. Your circumstances are not dangerous because everybody is watching the screen and conforming, busy being conformist. So
I'm going to sit where I sit, because as far as I understood it, I can see the screen quite well.
Correct.
So I'm fine where I am.
Mm-hmm. All right. So anybody else?
Actually I rolled listen because I thought you meant that.
Yes.
So I'm not focusing on the screen. I focus on everything else.
Excellent.
If that's possible. Mm-hmm. Do you want to? I'm very proud of my role, so I want to say that.
Of course.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
You have an unbelievable role. In that case, I think
it's actually over unbelievable. So
right.
But
you were not the only one to get a great listen roll. I can't remember which of the other two did. I think it was actually, I think it was Nadia who did, and Max got a pretty good one.
Okay.
Max got a pretty good one.
But this is a new one.
Right. I know. What I'm trying to say is that I'm going to give everybody their own listen results so that they all feel good about their individual roles. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Would be nice if everybody is going to tell me what they hear.
Yes, and that's the fun part, is that
quietly talking to myself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. What are you saying to yourself quietly?
Exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly that.
Okay.
Can you guys tell me whatever you listen and whatever you hear and see?
Okay. So
and if anybody wants to take over this place, please.
Mm-hmm. And so the first thing to talk about that anybody hears is for Margaret, who has a good role, I think, if I recall correctly. And what Margaret hears is mostly nearby, which is that somebody is complaining that they really need to get to work. These announcements, are coming too. There's too many announcements. They need to get to work. The worms in the cyber lab, they start to get they get very cranky. They get very difficult if they don't get their food. So their job is to feed the worms, and it's very upsetting. Going in and dealing with a bunch of hungry worms is going to ruin their whole day. Right? They bite, And so that's what one person is talking about. They're irritated at being delayed at getting to their job, and for this reason. Now, the unbelievable listeners, you are really concentrating on this, and you are not going to hear things immediately. You're hearing bits and pieces. And let's see. You are going to hear people upset because Isabella is talking about the war. Isabella is talking about how the attackers from Earth have destroyed another innocent village, that their terrible weapons are only stronger, that she describes she actually projects an image, or whoever is doing this sign projects an image, and all of you recognize it as old cinematic footage from World War II, the early stage of World War II. So not the American presence in Europe, but newsreels from the Nazis and Soviets, newsreels from the Americans in the Pacific. So there's an airship, there's an aircraft carrier, there are Japanese planes, the Zeros, going through the sky and things like that. So that's what's being shown. And she is saying that these are the weapons of Earth, weapons that we are behind. There is a gap between their technology and ours. We must close that gap to defend our world. And so she is announcing that our brave soldiers have given their lives to protect us, and we need to everyone needs to pull together. This is a time for greatness, a time to be proud of the city of Kaledos, the world of Xenos, and the law and Bane's law, the only civilization that these barbarians from Earth will destroy. So these images are up on the screen, and they're frightening. People are very frightened when they see this. But one person, the unbelievable listener of Nadia, cannot, because it's so unbelievable, you can actually say, this person is right over there. I know exactly where this speaker is. And that person is saying that to somebody is saying yes, and who gets all of the credits now but her weapons makers. Everything for the weapons makers. How are we supposed to do anything else? They are all getting rich. Of course they want more war. And that person is quickly told to shut up by the person they're talking to. Be quiet. And of course they respond, nobody can hear me under all this.